Well, the NATO meeting this week was a show of Western unity and strength in the face of Russian aggression. But divisions, of course, do remain between the UK and the EU closer to home, specifically over the Northern Ireland Protocol and the British government's plans to change or scrap parts of it. The EU says it will respond with legal action. Some think it could lead to a trade war. So what is the state of the relationship between the UK and the EU's largest and most powerful nation? Germany's ambassador to the UK, Miguel Berger, joins us now. Thank you very much for being with us. I just want to start with Ukraine after that interview with Lord Dannatt, who said that perhaps the most likely scenario is the war goes into deep freeze, Russia takes the Donbas, and it's very difficult then to get those Russian troops out. Is that also Germany's assessment?
Yeah, I think it's one of the possible outcomes of this terrible war, that we might go into a deep freeze. But, you know, I would not exclude that Russia might push towards Odessa, because we have so far not seen that Putin has scaled down on his ambitions. And Putin is watching very closely and the unity of the Western alliance. But, you know, I think the messages which came out of the G7 summit, especially the NATO summit, with the 300,000 troops now on high alert, I think that at least has sent a very strong message towards Russia.
Given the Russian aggression that you speak of there, do you feel that Germany has been a bit sluggish in providing heavy weapons to Ukraine, particularly in comparison to the UK and the US?
No, I would say that the difference was that in Germany we had really to change totally our approach. And that was made by Chancellor Scholz in his speech very early in February on Zeitenwende, which means really a total new approach concerning 100 billion for the German army, which means that we are going to have the largest armed forces in Europe again. We have started later than the US and UK sending heavy weapons, but I think the multi-rocket launchers, which we are sending together with US and UK, but also the howitzers, self-propelled howitzers, I think they are already having an effect. We always can and we have to do more. And Sophie, my concern is really that we as NATO, as Western alliance, we have to be capable of supporting Ukraine if this war drags on for weeks and months. And that will be also a challenge for our armed forces.
I understand, of course, the shift in German position, but it has taken a while to get to this point. This is President Zelensky just 2 weeks ago. Every leader of our partner countries, and naturally the Chancellor Scholz of Germany, knows exactly what Ukraine needs. It's just that the deliveries from Germany are still less than they could be. It has taken a long time for you to get here. You will acknowledge that.
Yes, as I said, we started later than other countries with the delivery. But, you know, we have done other issues. For example, we did exchanges of arms with the Czech Republic, allowing them to deliver Russian-made tanks to Ukraine. We did the same with Greece. We sent our missile defense systems to Slovakia, allowing them to send systems. That is something that other countries have not done. So if you take the overall picture, I think Germany is very close to what the UK is doing.
Of course, Germany is very reliant on Russia for oil and gas. I think you rely on Russia for more than a third of its gas. And the German foreign minister has said that there's a hybrid war going on as Russia cuts those supplies to Europe. How concerned are you about the supply of oil and gas?
Yes, I think we have to be very concerned, especially on gas. On oil, we have managed to reduce in the last 2-3 months the dependency from over 30% to only 12%, because you have an international oil market where you can get oil from other countries. On gas, it's not so easy. You need infrastructure, you need LNG terminals. We have invested in them. So we have bought 4 floating LNG terminals, which will arrive in Germany before the end of the year. But obviously, if Russia has reduced gas delivery to only 40%, so Germany has declared gas emergency, and that means if this continues, or if Russia would really cut gas supply, that we will have to stop delivery to some sectors of our industry, that heating in the autumn and winter might turn into a problem. So I can tell you there is quite some concern.
OK, I want to talk to you a little bit now about the Northern Ireland Protocol, if I may. You were in Belfast last week. Do you accept that the Northern Ireland Protocol currently isn't working? And are you optimistic that there is a solution that can be found?
Yeah, you know, for me it was very interesting these 3 days in Belfast talking with all stakeholders. And the impression I got, especially from the business community, is yes, there are problems, especially for small retailers. And we think they need and they can be addressed. The majority of business told us that they are working very good with the Northern Ireland Protocol. What they need is certainty. Certainty in order to attract investment. And this certainty is definitely damaged by the Northern Ireland Protocol bill. And I can tell you that we are very concerned that this bill, which is not only from the point of view of international law, it would really break an agreement which the United Kingdom has signed and ratified only 2 years ago. But more than that, it brings uncertainty to Northern Ireland. Next year, we're going to have 25 years of the Good Friday Belfast Agreement. And I think it should be our joint endeavour to do whatever is possible to have a functioning executive in Northern Ireland, an assembly and a business community which can move forward.
So just to be clear, because you mentioned international law there, you believe that the Northern Ireland Protocol bill breaks international law, that it's effectively illegal?
There is no doubt about it. And I think Theresa May has said all about this position. We share it. This is breaking an agreement. And I think that lawmakers, House of Commons, they should be very concerned about what it means to break an international agreement, how that will be seen at the international stage. So
how will it be seen? How will it be seen? What will the reaction be?
Will it
Tariffs,
be seen?
Trade war?
You know, it will obviously be seen as a challenge to international law and to rule of law in general. And so I think the best what can be done is to go back into legality. And that means let's negotiate, find technical and practical solutions on the basis of the protocol. The European Union is ready to do that. But what we also cannot accept is a challenge and a risk to our internal market.
So what would happen if the UK government does press ahead with it? Are we talking about a trade war?
You know, I only can tell you at that stage that all options are on the table, and I would not exclude any one of that. But really, our call is let's go back into negotiations. This is doable, it's solvable, and it's in the best interest of Northern Ireland.
OK, just very, very finally, I'm going to squeeze one more question in. Looking ahead, we have the World Cup in Qatar. If England win their group and all the other rounds as well, and Germany do the same, they'll meet in the final. Bearing in mind that you're a diplomat, who do you think would win that one?
That will be a fantastic game, because always England against Germany in the World Cups were great games. So I'm really looking forward to that. But now, first of all, we are looking forward to the Women's European Championship in England. And there we also have a very strong women's team competing.
Well, that is a textbook diplomat's answer, I have to say. Thank you very much for being on the programme this morning. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.